Good morning, Dog Pound South campers. This is the Cleveland Browns Dog Pound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans for Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill. It's finally draft week. Oh, thought it would never get here. All right, let's take a quick review. What we're talking about. Draft starts on Thursday, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. 8 minutes in between each pick, down from 10 minutes. So that would put roughly 7 picks per hour in that kind of time frame. So you're looking at hour 3 when the Browns will take their second one. Hour 1 when the Browns will take their first pick. Let's review the picks they have. They have in the first round 6 and 24, second round 39, third round pick 70, fourth round pick 107. In the fifth round, they have picked 146 and 149. In the sixth round, pick 206. Seventh round, 248. I doubt Andrew Berry will use those picks. He has traded them in the past. But, you know, there's been a couple of years where he was forced to use them. Fine. Doesn't really matter. The big picks are what's going to happen in round 1. So the big news this weekend so far in the AFC North is the Bengals trading for Dexter Lawrence of the New York Giants. And it was a clean trade of pick number 10 for a 28-year-old Pro Bowl defensive tackle. I was kind of amazed that, I'm not going to grade this trade right now because let's face facts, Dexter Lawrence is a very good player. And the Bengals defense sucks. It's bad. And it's very bad on the defensive line. So what's going to happen with this? Jim Harbaugh is trying to get the Giants younger. He's now got another top 10 pick. So we'll see what they do with that. There's speculation it's going to be Jordan Tyson at number 10. Fine. I'm not enthralled with him to begin with. But if the Bengals had kept that pick and drafted a defensive lineman, maybe 28, 29 million over 4 years. You're talking about a draft pick. Dexter Lawrence is like $100 million. So this kind of is shocking that the Bengals, especially Mike Brown, would spend this kind of money. The threats by Joe Burrow must be very, very real. He must have told the team ownership, Joe Burrow, that is, that you got to spend some money. And getting Dexter Lawrence is spending money. So the big topic this week was, of course, Jordan Tyson. Everybody went to his workout. Now, a lot of people will say, well, teams are interested in him because he went to his workout. His injury history doesn't matter. Maybe teams went to his workout because of his injury history. They wanted to see it for themselves to see how he would perform. I personally, look, he's a talented. If he didn't have all these injuries, ACL, MCL, PCL torn, broken shoulder, broken collarbone, hamstring issues, he would be potentially a top 10 wide receiver. But it's those injury problems. And you never know. Players have injury problems in college. Then they go to the pros and everything works out because they're under better medical care than they were in college. They're better under physical therapy. They're have better trainers, better coaches in the pros than they do in college. So it could work out. Scares the crap out of me. It really, really does. So I don't know if the Browns are going to take him, but I hear he's connected to the Giants. Let's take a quick break. All right. One of the big things all last week was trade up, trade down, trade down, trade up from 24, trade down from 6, trade, 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 trade. Now, I listened to Andrew Berry's news conference. Actually, I went back and read the transcripts. I am more inclined to think that he is going to take a wide receiver at 6. He did say long-term value. Now, and this is just my opinion, I am thinking that what he's saying on the long-term value is the offensive tackle position. Because usually when you take a tackle, when you take a offensive tackle, we're not talking about guards because guards don't go this high. If you take an offensive tackle that high, you expect a long, lengthy career, especially top 10 tackles. So that's what I thought he would. That's what he's saying is there are a bunch of good tackles in this draft, but is there a long-term answer in this draft? And right now in today's NFL, there's no difference between a left tackle and a right tackle because teams line up pass rushers on both sides and they line up their best pass rushers all over the field. So both left tackle, right tackle have to be interchangeable. So, which helps with this draft. So what do you do? What do you do at 6? Okay, let's look. If they go wide receiver at 6, who are you talking about? You're talking about Carnell Tate, you're talking about Mekhi Lemon, and possibly Jordan Tyson. I don't think the Browns are going to go that way. And then you drop down to 24 and you look at a tackle. Now, the best tackles, if you go by ranking systems, Caden Proctor, which I don't think they'll draft. He's better suited at guard. Blake Miller, local kid, played at Clemson. Caleb Lomu, who I like a lot. And Max, let me get this right, Ihana Chor. Max Ihana from Arizona State. Now, I've heard his name a lot. The guy I know who knows people in the building, they're very interested in him. So if you walked away with Ihana Chor at 24 and Tate at 6, I'd be completely happy. Now, if Andrew Berry goes against his what he basically said and goes tackle first, you're looking at Francis Mahinoa, also Spencer Fano, and of course Monroe Freeling. By the way, I know a lot of people complain, well, nobody ever heard of Monroe Freeling before the combine. Well, he decided to go for the draft. It was heavily speculated that he'd stay at Georgia. That's why nobody ever heard of him. Draft people know of him. So what would you do at wide receiver at 24? Well, of course, Omar Cooper, everybody's favorite. My favorite, KC Concepcion. And I know one of Samuel's favorite, Denzel Boston. So what you're looking for, I read that again. I read Andrew Berry's news conference. I think he's going wide receiver at 6. I get that feeling that he is. And even if you drop down and get your tackle at 24, say it's Inachor, say it's him, because I hear his name, or Caleb Lomu, who I also hear his name. What you're looking for, because there are no Joe Thomases in this draft. Let's face facts. There are no Joe Thomases. There's no stud tackle. You have a bunch of good tackles, but you could find a good tackle that can give you longevity. And I'll give you a perfect example. Jake Matthews. Yes, the Matthews family. He was selected number 6 overall in 2014. He's only one Pro Bowl, only went to one Pro Bowl. For the last 12 years, he's protected the blind side of the quarterbacks in Atlanta for 12 years, last 12 years, really well. He's done really good. He's done a really good job. You're getting You're getting a long-term, and they got a long-term investment in Jake Matthews. And that's what the Browns are looking for. Now, can you get that at 6? Possibly. I'm going something that helps the offense score points at 6. That was their biggest problem. Trading down does not help them. If Tate is there, you take Tate. He will help you score touchdowns. If you take your offensive lineman at 24, boom, your line looks good. You pick up another offensive lineman and a guard later in the draft. Like I keep hearing, Mikael Bell names keeps popping up. Get him in the day 3. I mean, you have the picks to do this. Yes, they need to fix a lot of things. A trade down gets them more picks, but a trade down also takes them away from a very talented wide receiver that helps the offense. You hired another offensive coach who gets the best out of the quarterbacks no matter where he's been. So why not pick a wide receiver first, get your offensive tackle at 24, then you can second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever rounds you can fix your other parts of your team. I know they're going to go cornerback and safety. They're heavily invested in the draftable safety market right now. They've looked at it a ton, so they're going to draft a safety. They have to get a guard. Tight end is another need that some people are ignoring. Yes, they have Harold Fannin. They picked up the Stoll kid from New Orleans, and they're bringing Blake Whiteheart back, but you still need a number 2 tight end. You need somebody that can line up in line, block, and also catch passes. And there are tight ends in this draft that you can do that with. Some people suggest that they should draft a kick returner. And they bring up the kid from Iowa, who's really good. But Casey Concepcion also returned punts at Texas A&M. So if you go tackle first, you get him at 24, you might be solving 2 problems at once. All right, so we have the draft coming up. I'm going to write a blog on Wednesday. It's dogpoundsouth.net. With any last-minute things I've heard, we're going to be doing a show, as always, on draft night. We'll start right before the draft does, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. John and I will also be back for our annual Saturday show, where things have happened while we were live on the air. Like last year when they drafted Shedeur Sanders while we were on the air. And it was our initial reaction right off the bat. So join us this week. Everybody, Samuel's still doing his Browns breakdowns every day. Don't let Sam's age fool you. He has a ton of knowledge when it comes to draftable players. So everybody, thank you for joining me this morning here on the Cleveland Browns Dog Pound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill. And again, as always, we thank you for watching, listening, subscribing, and following us here at the Fanatical Elves Network. Because, we're just basically Browns fans like you. And the draft is something we all look forward to. So everybody, have a great day and go Browns.